The history of the internet is remarkably short. I remember when I was in college, I didn't send or receive a single email the 4 years that I was in college. I didn't go to the internet once. I didn't own a cell phone until I was almost 30 years old. The power and ubiquity of these communications networks, of the internet, that we all now take for granted is a relatively new phenomenon. And there are now 2 billion people on planet Earth who are connecting to the internet every day. In the face of this, the State Department and Hillary Clinton specifically have recognized that a lot of long-standing old American values, like the freedom of expression, the freedom of assembly, the freedom of the press, if you are going to continue to protect and preserve these freedoms, then you need to do so on the internet. The way that people express themselves is increasingly over things like blogs. The way that the press now publishes is increasingly on the internet. The way that people now exercise their freedoms of association and assembly, we need look no further back than what took place in Egypt and in Tunisia to see that people are using social media to exercise those values. Because of that, Hillary Clinton has made internet freedom a very important part of America's foreign policy. A little more than a year ago, January 21st of 2010, Secretary of State Clinton gave what was frankly a groundbreaking, a paradigm-shifting speech about internet freedom. And when she gave that speech, she wasn't utopian about technology. She likened it to steel, which could be used to build both a hospital or a machine gun. She likened it to nuclear power, which could fuel a city or destroy it. And so she's been very clear-eyed about technology's ability to disrupt for both positive and for negative. And one of the things that she recognizes is that to the extent that people are going to have upward economic mobility, to the extent that people are going to be able to compete and succeed in our knowledge-based economy, it's going to be because they have unfettered access to the internet. That is why the United States is speaking up about internet freedom. And it's why we're holding governments to account who seek to inhibit their citizens' ability to freely express themselves on the internet. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's speech this week about internet freedom is really setting the stage for the next 5 years of policymakers the world around to establish global norms so that the internet can continue to be the platform for communication, collaboration, and commerce that it is and that it ought to remain.